That one was on me. We're good. Hi.
Hi.
Hello, everybody.
Oh, buddy.
Hey, thanks so much for your patience. Thanks for joining us for episode 2 of Changeling Cold Iron. And we'll get into that in just a second. But before we do, hi. How's it going? Let's just chat a little.
Son of a...
Gonna kill that dog.
Oh my God,
Already?
You monster. Seriously?
You!
How could you?
Those poor
Fucked up.
puppies.
It's fucked up. Hi. Hey, what's up? We're live from the apocalypse. If you've never caught us before, we are a not-for-profit TTRPG studio that makes actual play content like streams and podcasts, much like this one, to raise money for nonprofits and aid organizations and other important things like that. And in particular, with this stream and all of our streams right now, we're raising money for Rainbow Railroad, which is a super important and super good nonprofit that seeks to get LGBTQ individuals, and in particular in these very scary and unfortunate times, trans individuals out of unsafe living situations, whether that be to other countries or other cities or just out of very bad situations. So we ask that if you like what you see here, instead of doing any of the normal Twitch things of subscribing or giving us bits or any of that stuff, you instead take the $6 or the $5 or whatever you would have given to Amazon to give to us by proxy, of which they would have kept more than half. You instead take that money and give it directly to Rainbow Railroad, because they will do very good and important things with it. And we just play games on the internet, silly games, much like this one. And we'll get into that silly game in just a second, but that's most of the stuff and the things. If you donate, the McElroy brothers will yell at us and will interrupt whatever's going on, especially if I am talking. I will be the one who hears it. Everybody else will see it, though. And other than that, what else we got? We have hidden the subscribe button. Find it, seek it at your own risk, but choose wisely. For to choose poorly is to perish.
Yeah, Justin, fucking grip it and rip it, baby. Slop that down, dude. Shit, yeah, dude. Crack one for the big boy.
Thank you so much for your donation. Before we move on, I will also say that there are incentives for this game. If you are watching the stream, if you scroll down into the About section, there is an incentives panel that will tell you what you can donate and what you can get if you donate that amount of money. So feel free to make use of that if you are so inclined. Under the Changeling Cold Iron section. Other than that, if you can find the subscribe button, we cannot stop you from doing it. Just be aware that if you do so, beloved Dimension 20 Dungeon Master Brennan Lee Mulligan will kill one dog. He will murder one dog for every month that you have been subscribed to this channel. I know some fucking monster who has been subscribed for 15 months subscribed. That's 15 dogs, and that's fucked up.
That was
frankly.
a tragedy.
Yeah. And so I hope that they can sleep at night, honestly. So that's the stuff and the things for the most part. There are channel points, there are emotes, there are all of the normal things. But I think on that note, I will turn it over to our storyteller, Alex.
Hello, I'm Alex. I was just making a note that thanks to that $5 donation, this group has an equipment cache that they can turn in. So any of you can make a request, and we will make use of that. Give you a +1 to a dice pool, and we will just say that you have a thing falls into your hands if you need it. That's a one use only, but that could make the difference between life and not life, at the very least. We'll see. I'm Alex. This is Changeling the Lost, Cold Iron, which is set in an alternate timeline where the Fey courts have taken over the Soviet Union because things happened in Arcadia. Bad things. Arcadia burned. It was rough. And we here now are investigating a little murder. I'll do some content warnings because this is a game where we're going to explore some sort of dark themes. And if at any point you need to take yourself away, please do. This is just a game. We're just here to have fun. If you're not having fun, that's not the point. Take care of yourself. Come back when you need to. We'll be here, or, catch the next one. It'll be fine. Content warnings for this one are pretty simple. We've got blood. We've got gore. We've got wounds. We've got teeth. We've got unlife and the unliving. We've got burning to death. So I'm almost positive that all of those things will show up in this game. So again, take care of yourself accordingly and have fun. That's what we're here to do. Let's introduce ourselves, I think.
Let's do it.
Okay.
There we go.
I'm Alex. I'm the storyteller for this. I write games. You can find me at Mightiest Finn on Twitter or at Mighty Finn on the other one, Blue Sky, because I got there and there was not a Mighty Finn yet, so I snagged it. What could I could have gone for brand consistency, but fuck it. That's it. I'll plug some stuff at the end, but yeah, come find me. And Raph, you'll be on in about 6 seconds, so I will end now.
All right.
Okay. I am on now, I think.
No, it's me. Alphabets.
Wait.
We're doing alphabets, not
We're
seasons.
doing
My bad.
alphabets. Sorry.
We
Hello.
can do seasons. You just got to tell me.
I'm sorry. That's my bad. That's my bad. We'll do Raph, I betrayed you already. I'm sorry.
Hello, friends. My name is Farah Sarpkaya. I am playing Veronica Strogos, the winter changeling here, and all around beautiful music teacher. She just loves to make her little birds sing. You can find me at Farrakaya on all of the socials because brand consistency, and at Crossroads Games. Please don't kill me, Alex.
Hi, I am JD. I am a storyteller and player, most often with Live from the Apocalypse. In this game, I am playing Arcadia Volkov, scientist of the Autumn Court, and that's really all you need to know about him. He is a sweet little hiss-hiss, and he loves to watch those singing lessons. He learned so much.
Why did it change? What does that mean? What is it? Why is it not a meow meow anymore? I don't understand. Hold on. No, wait. I did this wrong. Did I do this wrong? Yeah, I did.
Hi, it's Q. You can find me at Midnight Inc. most places. Midnight_INQ. Q is my name. I'm sure you get it. Except for at Blue Sky, they don't do the under thing, but I'm there now. So yay, come find me. Tonight I am playing the good little soldier, Misha Dragunov of Summer. He's just, a very normal and kind and not at all strange delivery boy. It's fine. Absolutely.
Sure.
Now you're on, Ref.
Now I talk. Hello. Okay, so so I'm Raph. I'm living in my own alternate universe, alternate timeline, beyond the game, a game in a game, so to speak, where I am 6 seconds behind, living in the past. I'm also playing Yuna Orlova. Sweet baby, artist, curator, guardian, and protector of the National Portrait Gallery of the party, and also of the Spring Court, proudly and loyally. So that's it.
Hello, my name is Will. I'm one of the storytellers and the organizers here at Live from the Apocalypse. I am playing Kolya Smirnov, who is unaligned. He is not of the courts. He is of the Russian, the Soviet prison system, say that much. And he is the voice of the people in this particular adventure. So that's fun. Everything's fine. Everything's good. That's it for Kolya. I mean, he's fine. He's not going to die, but you know what I mean? I'm done.
Yeah, it's going to be fine. Don't worry about it. I think we'll do a brief recap just to show how these 4 individuals came to Kaliningrad, all agents of the Central Committee in Moscow. Their various courts summoned them because there's been a murder in Kaliningrad. A very famous scientist named Dr. Oleg Morozov was found murdered on one of the beaches in Kaliningrad. Train arrived, and they met Kolya, who is a mechanic and the voice of the people, as we've stated, who was assigned to work with each of these 4 individuals to help solve this case. First stop was the morgue, where everyone went and viewed the body of Dr. Morozov, which had a few things wrong with it. There were arrows in his back. His body was painted completely red in a paint-like substance. There was some issues with it. We're still not quite sure what the deal was there. Well, some of us aren't. His feet were destroyed from running over rocky ground, and there was a gigantic crater-like hole right over his heart, which had imploded or exploded from the impact. But that wasn't what killed him, because a very thorough autopsy by Winter's herald Veronica Strogost revealed that his neck had in fact been snapped when his head was rotated 360 degrees. That's what killed him. It was a bit of a mercy, I would say. Once we were finished there, everybody went upstairs to sign off on the paperwork, because this is the Soviet Union, there's a lot of paperwork here. And that's when the alarms started. And that's when, in the security office, we saw the sheet that had been covering Dr. Morozov's body fall away, and his hand twitch. But that's not what I want to talk about right this second. Because, as you all know, we have other stories to tell. Stories of Arcadia. And as with all stories of Arcadia, the first thing we have to say is that Arcadia has fallen. And in the terror and chaos of those final hours, many of us escaped by the barest skin of our teeth. Many more weren't so lucky. And the accounting of who escaped and who did not took years. Because even as we escaped, we found our memories of our former home fading away like fog under the rays of the sun. In these times, the line between memory and story is extremely blurry, and the stories we tell of lost Arcadia could be true, or they could be absolute fabrication. Doesn't matter. They're all we have left, and that makes them precious. So I have one for you. Just one, and I'll leave the question of its truth or falsehood to other, more critical minds than my own. This story, like so many stories of Arcadia, begins in the mortal world, the one in which we were all born, and to which we have all returned. And it centers on a young woman who, at first glance, has nothing particularly remarkable about her. Her story only becomes interesting, sad to say, with her disappearance into a snowy night after leaving her final evening class. Why the true Fae marked her is impossible to say. Their motivations were always opaque, even in the best of times. Perhaps they were able to see something in us that we couldn't see ourselves. Maybe that's a comforting lie. That there's something about us that condemned us to our fate, a purpose, a reason, that it wasn't random chance. It's a comfort. But whatever the reason, as the blizzard closed in around her, the young woman heard a voice on the wind, one that promised her safety, warmth, life. And she followed. Passing through the hedge, she found herself in the enchanting forest of a mighty and powerful true Fae. The name of this individual is lost to us, but it's relayed that he was a powerful and skilled hunter who spent his days wandering the brightly lit paths of his forest, where the canopy was so tall, there were rumors it rose above the sun itself in places. The true Fae in his court, all colorfully attired and smiling, welcomed the young woman to her new home. They clothed her in fabrics she'd never seen before, garishly colored and smoother than silk. They gave her food and drink the likes of which she had never tasted, and which left her greedy for more. They spoke and sang in voices so beautiful she cried, and hoped they would never stop. And they told her, when her welcome was complete, that she must earn these gifts, or pay with her life. The task was simple. If she could escape the forest before the true Fae and his hunters discovered her, she was welcome to join his court and enjoy his bounty for the rest of her life. She ran. What choice did she have? But the rich meal she had eaten slowed her thoughts and sapped her energy. The beautiful clothes she wore snagged on passing branches and tangled her limbs. Their laughter, mere moments before the most beautiful thing she had ever heard, turned cruel and mocking in her ears as it drifted through the massive trees behind her. At first, the path was clear, and in her blind panic, she followed it for what felt like miles, while the jeering laughs of her hunters followed behind. Eventually, the forest swallowed that path completely, and the underbrush grew thorny and clinging. She shed her garish clothes, and although the thorns cut her viciously, she continued to flee as multicolored, festive arrows occasionally slammed into trees just behind her. Just a reminder they're still there, still pursuing, but it wasn't time to end the game yet. One of them caught her as the wall of trees blocked her path, and she was forced to double back. Overconfident, it threw her a weapon and told her to defend herself. Foolishly, it underestimated her will to live, and despite her many wounds and the decades of experience on the side of her opponent, a lucky stab felled him, the smile dying on his lips as his life's blood spilled out over the underbrush. She had discovered they could bleed, that they could die. She fled again, but this time not in panic. Twice more, she eliminated a hunter. Disbelief etched into their faces as they died, but still the true Fae walked easily behind, never falling back, never gaining ground, content to watch, and to let her exhaust herself before closing in for the kill. And eventually, she stumbled. Her legs were so numb they could barely bend, her feet were torn to pieces. And it was in this moment he made his attack. A garish arrow disarmed her. Another buried itself in her thigh. A message. He approached with the certainty of death, and she raised her head to meet her killer's eyes, and the beauty of that hunter assaulted every sense she possessed, and it was with tears of joy that she looked on death. And even as his hunting spear sought her heart, she wept rapturously to be killed by so glorious and perfect a being. But the blow didn't land. With lightning speed, vines from the forest canopy wrapped themselves around her body, and she was lifted aloft, carried far away from the true Fae's reach. And it was then that she discovered that in Arcadia, there are powers apart from the gentry. And she felt more than heard the gentle whispers that her wounds were healed, and her skill and courage commended. The forest eventually deposited her on its edge, and as she stepped beyond its borders, she felt a weight lift from her that she hadn't realized she was carrying. The true Fae appeared shortly after, thunder and amusement in equal parts on its face. He gave her the freedom he had promised, and then made a request. The true Fae had need of a new court painter, as the young woman had killed the previous one during her flight. She readily agreed, and for many years it was her duty and her pleasure to serve the true Fae, delicately and intricately painting his numerous quarries. Never did she partake in the hunt, but her master never failed again after her escape. She made sure of that. She became an object of fear and respect in the True Phase court. And the last we know of her, she continued to serve happily until the war. We see her now as the camera pulls in on stormy eyes filled with wonder at the sight of her master. We see the eyes of a zealot, of an artist, of a killer, and of a changeling. And as our camera pulls back, we find ourselves in the security office of the Kaliningrad morgue, as Yuna Orlova stares at a video feed showing a serious problem in the basement.
A beautiful problem.
It is.
What is happening? What is happening?
The corpse is rising. We should deal with it.
The corpse is dancing.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to go now. I'm going there.
When you say deal with it, I think Kolya will like kind of follow after Misha if Misha's leaving, but like be talking the whole time. And just, when you say deal with it, do you mean this is your responsibility? Is this connected to the murder?
Almost certainly. Corpses don't make a habit of just getting back up, which means there's something amiss. And, well, the unliving are problematic.
Dr. Darova, who is the Kaliningrad morgue medical examiner, coroner, says, well, wait, before you go, I don't know what we're dealing with here, and she walks over to a little cabinet, opens it up, and there are 2 revolvers in there. She says, I am not personally trained, but I would not want you going down there without protection.
It's at this moment that Misha goes, wait, and looks at the rest of the crew. Are you all not armed?
Veronica, in response to that question, takes her satchel again, opens it up, and rolls out her kit and pulls out knives that are probably too big to be used for, say, autopsy, but are used for other things. Worry not. I am at least armed.
I am a mechanic.
I am a scientist.
I look.
I'm a painter.
I look at Kolya and say, it will be disappointing if you live up to your name. I suspect you're more than a mechanic.
I have fired a gun before.
You have done more than that.
I will take one.
She hands it to you. It is a Nagant M1895, which is a 7-cylinder revolver. So it's got 7 rounds in the cylinder. You've absolutely used one of these before.
Yeah. I think that much is clear. He checks it very deftly. Sort of like just flips the chamber open, checks, slaps it shut.
I need to know now. Are you simply here for diplomatic purposes? Or are you actually here to be a part of this investigation?
I imagine that is entirely up to you.
Your prison record states that you are capable. I would like to see that in action. This is perhaps dangerous. We need all the bodies we can get. And moving forward.
Of course. Whatever the courts want.
I follow.
Because of the lockdown, the elevator is not operable. You will only be able to use the stairs. There are stairs on the east and west side of the building. Dr. Darova can point you to whichever you want. But as you're all leaving, she sort of catches Arcadie's arm a little, and you feel there's a sort of like tense fear there. And she says, the only way we can override the lockdown is with 2 keys. I have one. My assistant Luda has the other. She's downstairs.
Where downstairs?
I do not know.
You should keep better track of your employees.
There is one way in and out of this building. What more do I need to keep track of?
It would seem like a lot in this moment.
She sort of cocks her head and looks at you. There are 4 down there. I am fond of them. They are merely humans. They don't know.
And what would you give us for their safety?
Well, for one thing, she offers you the last revolver.
Arcadie takes it.
If you bring them to me safely, I will, or if you can save them from whatever that is, I will do my best to ensure that you have all access to any records that I can dig up.
That is acceptable.
She nervously says thank you, and then says, the images on the screen are on a delay. Whatever that was, it's active.
Understood.
Be careful.
I think you hear from the hallway Veronica shout, Zemia! Let's go!
And Arcadie says, it would appear I'm being summoned.
Best not to keep Winter waiting.
Never.
So you all are in the upstairs lobby of the morgue. The elevator, as you may remember, is like in the center-ish of it, and on either side, like either wall opposite this elevator bank, there are stairs, or there is a sign that indicates that there are stairs. They both go to the same place, according to Dr. Jarova. Merely a question of which you'd prefer.
They will take left.
Left is fine.
Left is always right. Are you going as a group, or are you splitting?
Perhaps makes sense, half and half.
Split.
So Veronica and Misha are going on the left staircase. Is anyone else going with them?
Arcadia's.
Okay, so Kolya and Yuna are going down the right staircase.
At that point, might as well just all go the same spot.
Yes.
I'm just saying. It is, but, you know. 5 of us. Maybe we should just all go together.
Yeah, maybe we should stick together.
Yeah.
Veronica's already walking down the
No.
stairs. Make your
Yuna,
choice.
Are you going right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, yes, Kolia is too.
Okay.
I
Good.
think everyone else is like, God, I think he knows better, but I think everyone else has been like openly pretty evil. And Yuna has been weird, but like
Excuse me?
I've not been evil.
Excuse me?
How dare you?
there's a vibe. There's a vibe.
I'm direct, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm
I've
about to
never
give-
done anything wrong ever in my life.
I'm just saying, I don't know that he
Snakes.
trusts Yuna, but I think he maybe likes Yuna more than the other three currently.
All right. So we have
Poor life choice.
Yeah.
Kolya and Yuna going down the right-hand staircase, and Arcadia, Veronica, and Misha going down the left.
Mhm.
Excellent. So they're big fire doors. Like, you have to push them open. Maybe Kolya doesn't. But for everyone else, they have a little bit of... And as you enter the stairwell, the lights overhead are almost painful in their brightness. Like, there are a lot of fluorescent lights here. And the stairs are concrete. And this building, like, on the outside, it looked new. And it's really in these places that you can see that this is really a new building, because it's still new enough that there isn't that, like, patina of grime and neglect that you get on concrete stairs after extended use. Like, it's still pretty fresh. But, like, the noise, even any small amount of noise here is amplified by dozens. Like, the acoustics are awful. Even your own breathing seems very, very loud as you're descending the staircase. I would like everyone to roll me a stealth check as you descend, which is Dex plus stealth.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
Because you said the stairway is pretty bright.
Yes.
Any shadows at all?
Not at the moment. You'd have to, like, get on, even when you're, like, under the stairs, like the stairs sort of circle down on themselves, or do a level, like there are lights underneath the stairs so that everything is illuminated.
Don't worry about it. I'm just gonna use darkness. I'm gonna make my own.
Okay.
Yeah. I got homemade, so we're fine.
I'm also gonna roll some dice. Don't worry about it.
Would you say a specialty of blending in counts?
In this case, no.
Cool.
Let me know how many successes you get when you have it. 3 from Arcadia.
That's
I exploded on a 10, but I didn't get anything on the other one.
Okay.
So
4 from Veronica. None from Yuna. Excellent.
I have a question.
Yes.
I have the boon of the scuttling spider, which
Mhm.
allows me to move across solid surfaces in defiance of gravity. Does that literally just mean I can walk on walls and or
Yes.
ceilings?
Correct.
Oh, good. Okay. I might have to. How tall is this level?
10 feet.
Okay.
Like a standard story, which is at probably, I think that's 11.
Okay.
4 successes for me, sure. Or is that 5?
it's 4.
4. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Shame about that Yuna roll. So as you are all descending, everyone is moving pretty quietly. You're an efficient team. Yuna, however, have you still got your satchel?
Yes, and I was going to probably, since I rolled 6 dice and got no successes, I'm gonna probably go ahead and say I open it during this.
Yeah, I think you open it and drop it.
So.
And there is a very loud clattering as a old World War II era sniper rifle falls out of your pack.
Oops. My paintbrush.
Incredible.
I have made the mistake.
Mm-hmm. So, so you all come down the stairs, and you get to the door that leads into the morgue basement level. And just as you do, the power goes out. Just like a... And things go black for a moment. Kolya.
Yeah.
In the darkness, you feel a hand on your shoulder. And it hits your shoulder and then tightens.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna react the way that I normally would to being grabbed, I think. And try to just like put them in a hold, probably just kind of like a whoever grabbed me, just like grab their arm and try to twist them into like something similar to a full Nelson, I imagine.
All right, go ahead and make me a strength brawl check.
Sure.
And normally there might be some penalties for fighting in the dark, but you do know that this hand is right here.
Yeah. Okay. 3 successes.
All right. Don't mind me marking a thing. The emergency generators kick on. And the entire area goes to emergency light power, which is just red lights, you know. And everything, it's those lights that do, in fact, cast shadows, really deep shadows. So, Misha, you're probably feeling a little more at home in this moment. But, Kolya, you grab this hand and you pull, and you hear a snap.
Okay, great.
And when the lights come on, you've got Dr. Darova in a full Nelson.
Oh.
And she's kind of like sputtering, like nursing this, you know, trying to fix her arm, which I think you've broken. She's like, what are you doing?
Well,
let me go.
Yeah, I do. So sorry. So sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The lights going off. I stumbled and you were the first thing that was there.
Yes, this is a tense situation. If you'd like, I can set it with a splint, perhaps.
Once we've dealt with this, I think.
I would be happy to. Yes. Look around, take stock of the situation.
At the moment, it's you and Yuna and Dr. Darova in a stairwell.
He will look cautiously over at Yuna say, how should we proceed?
I suppose with vigor and with determination.
Excellent. Good. Yes, that is helpful. Forward then, I suppose.
Meanwhile, in the other staircase, the lights go off. They come back on. How are our 3 content creators doing?
I would like this content creator to be gone. It's now dark 30 in here, and I would like to capitalize on that as much as possible.
Very good.
They can hear, probably. I will scout ahead.
Wonderful.
I would like to move forward.
Are you opening the door and going into the lobby?
Yes.
Okay. So
Hold it
just
for me. I would like to climb the wall and make my way spider-like up top.
okay. You can do that.
Arcadia is the normal one who just walks down the stairs.
Very good. So Misha, you open the door into the basement lobby. You were just here, but the black and white tile now looks like a red and black checkerboard. And there is a liquid that stands out to you. Seems to lead to or from the examination room where you had just conducted this autopsy. The double doors, that's, swinging double doors with the little circles so that you can see through, are closed. Opposite those is the elevator. And the elevator is doing that thing where the doors close, and then they open up again and get to like halfway open and then shutter and then try and close again. Shutter and open. And you have good vision. You can see there's no car in there. It's just elevator shaft.
Gotcha.
The other things you notice and you're picking up immediately. So as you're looking at it, the elevators are to your left. The examination room is to your right. In front of you, there is a sign and a corridor which reads incinerator. And then further behind the elevator, there's like corridors that go on either side of the elevator. There's a sign that says staff, staff offices, and locker room or changing room.
Okay. Are there any footprints in the blood?
No, it looks more like something has been dragged.
Away from the examination room?
Or into. It's unclear.
Or into? Okay. Can I do an investigation roll about it?
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
I think as you're investigating, that is when Yuna and Dr. Darova and Kolya come into the lobby.
As he's looking at that, Veronica will also make her way across and kind of upside down look through the circle.
It is the examination room, as you saw it before. In the center, there is that gurney that the doctor's body was on. The sheet has fallen off. But apart from that, the room appears empty.
Okay. That was 6 successes.
Fantastic. That's an exceptional success. Very good. So you are looking at this, and perhaps it's it's as much memory as what you notice, but the liquid is black under the light, but it does not have the consistency of blood. And it has a kind of smell to it. Sugar? Sweet. Cloying. And as you're sort of like looking at it, smelling it, you notice it kind of shudders under your gaze. As though something were walking past and causing a vibration, but no one is walking.
What are you? Okay, I think I'm going to stand from the liquid, and I'm gonna sort of crack open the door to the examination room.
Okay. Yuna and Kolya, what would you like to do? And Arcadia, have you entered at this point as well?
Arcadia has entered.
Okay. So we've got Misha opening or cracking the door to the examination room. There's the elevator trying to close and failing. You've got various exits around. What's your focus?
We see all of them.
Yes. You do see Veronica standing upside down on the ceiling.
Great. So happy that I see that.
Incredible.
Cool. I think at seeing the other ones, Kolya's shoulders are going to relax a little bit. And he's going to sort of, take they seem to have this well in hand.
I don't think they are in there anymore. So watch your back.
No, certainly not. But it's good to double check. We don't want something coming back behind. Also, we're not sure if whatever that is can make more.
It's at this point that you all hear two noises. The first seems to be coming from the offices, which are behind the elevator. It is the sound of a human screaming for their life in terror, like absolute abject terror. The other sound comes from the north, near the incinerator, and it is the sound of a door slamming.
I would love to go check out what is making that noise.
Yeah, I think Kolya's not gonna be able to help himself and is gonna run towards the screaming person.
Okay.
I would like to walk towards the screaming person.
Yep.
I would like to go investigate the incinerator.
Excellent. And Yuna?
Me too.
Okay.
Also the incinerator.
Fantastic.
So we will start with...
I didn't want to go alone.
We'll start with the office, which is to say Veronica and Arcadia and Kolya, and Dr. Jarova is also heading that way. You walk past a series of office doors that are closed, and finally you come to sort of larger open door frame, which has a locker room beyond it, is the best word I can describe. Like benches along the sides, there's a row of lockers. Midway down on the right side, there's another opening that probably leads to like a communal shower. But the first thing that you notice is, in fact, the young man who is leaning up against one of the benches, just absolutely eviscerated in the front. Like, he's just been absolutely ripped open. There's blood and guts everywhere. Panic in his eyes, he's like coughing up blood, and like he sees you, he sees Dr. Darova, and he gets agitated and is like, help, it's help.
Kolya will definitely rush over to him. He knows first aid. I'll try to do it again, but I think he'll say as he does so, "Doctor, please."
The doctor is with you. I will have you make me a first aid check.
Is there a way
check.
I can help with that?
Sure. Would you like to? If you assist, we'll give Kolya an extra dice to his dice pool.
Okay, I would like to do that.
Okay. So Kolya, intelligence plus medicine.
Okay. No successes.
Okay. You spend time trying to like just assess the situation, but the lighting is bad and these wounds are very messy. And at one point, Dr. Darova just sort of gingerly puts her hand on your shoulder because of what happened last time. It's like, he doesn't have long.
You are a doctor. Surely you can do more than I can.
I'm a doctor, not a miracle worker.
Should we ease his passing?
No, stop. Hold on. We don't need to do that.
His hand sort of reaches up to you, Kolya. The body on the table. What was that?
I don't know. But
It killed Sasha. And it dragged someone into the lockers. And he points, and you can see there is in fact a blood trail leading to another of the lockers.
I don't think Kolya is like registering that. He's very focused on this dying man. And I think he looks at Dr. Darova and then he'll switch his gaze over to Arcadia and say, "You are also a doctor."
I am a chemist.
Of course.
Veronica drops down next to him. Have I seen or inflicted wounds like this before?
No. This is brutal. You are precise. You do not waste effort. Whoever did this is either far stronger or far less careful, or both.
And it looks like nothing can be done to this person.
Oh no, this man is going to die.
Cool. I will put that's a lie. She looks down at the collection here and says, "It would be a waste to have another one killed. We should go find their colleague." And she walks in the direction of the locker.
He looks up desperately at you, Kolya. He is grabbing your arms. His hands are slick with blood, and he's like,
Yeah.
"Please, not like this. Please."
Can I try again?
No. You have the information you need.
Yeah.
I think as the lights go out of his eyes, there is a thud from the locker that he pointed to from inside of it. And that is where we are going to move to Team Incinerator.
Fantastic.
Team Incinerator, you head down a corridor. And it's not a long corridor, but it's like there's a clear divide in the space. Like, things that come past this point are past their usefulness or past their, you know, there's one destination, and that is
It's the burn. Yes.
the burn.
Mm-hmm.
And you get a feeling of that as you pass, almost, it's like a threshold. Not a physical one, but a sort of psychological one.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a big open door that's got those like plasticky curtains, you know what I mean? Like the strips that are sort of foggy and opaque.
Yeah, they're awful.
Yeah, terrible. And beyond, just very hazy, you can see the incinerator. It's big. Even from a distance, it's got a gravity to it.
Okay. Do I see any shapes moving through the flaps?
No.
Okay, but I for sure heard it close.
You heard a door in this area close.
Okay.
There is no door that you've seen, but it was absolutely in this direction.
Okay, then time to go through the murder blinds. I absolutely have a knife and a pistol at the ready.
Very good. Yuna, as you go through, what is your procedure? Are you behind Misha? Are you alongside?
I am behind him, holding my paintbrush. I am smelling for the paint that I so deeply recognize.
I will have you make me...
Or for any familiar smell.
I'll have you make me a wits and composure roll, and I will give you a bonus dice to that.
Okay. Ooh.
You do, in fact, smell the paint. You're not sure how close it is, but something with that paint has been in this room. And as you're looking closer, you realize there is some traces of the paint on the murder curtain.
Ooh. This is just like the hunt, except for I hope it gets away. Wouldn't that be fun?
No. I do not like failing to acquire targets.
That's interest.
So you come into the incinerator room, and really the like far back wall is the incinerator. The mechanics of it, the pipes. I don't actually know what a Soviet incinerator looks like, but I'm going to assume it's some steampunk monstrosity for the purposes of this game.
Sure. Whatever you like.
Right. The opening of it is ready for its next what have you.
Mm-hmm.
And otherwise, the only other thing in this room that you can tell, apart from, empty gurneys, is a door to your left that is marked utilities.
Well, it seems only fair that I investigate. So we are gonna open the door. I'm gonna make sure that Yuna is out of the way when it opens. Just gonna stay on the side, like use it as cover, and then I'm gonna try and look when it's open.
Very good. I will have you make me a wits plus composure check to see what you see. Yuna, you go ahead and roll me another one as well, just because you're here.
Yay!
There we go. I'm gonna use the light so I stop having to like. Hey yo, let's go, baby. That was 3 10s.
Shit.
Let's do this.
Roll them again.
We're gonna. Chill out.
4 is good. Five. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Also 5. You open the door. Inside is like the breaker for the building, presumably how or why the power is currently out. You know, it's there are tools, there are shelves, but that's not what you notice. It's the drop of something that hits your sleeve. And when you look up, on the ceiling is a thing. I will describe that thing. I will describe that thing in a moment. Let's go back to the locker room.
I would like to open the door, if I might.
All right, Veronica is opening the door to locker 217. Kolya, Arcadia, what are you up to?
Until something changes, I think Kolya is kind of like clasping this dying man's hand and is just trying to give him some reassurance. Just telling him, lying to him that he's going to be okay and that we're going to, get him out of here and everything's going to be fine.
He's faded very quickly. His breathing has all but stopped. He's still trying to say something to you. Like it's just a whisper and it's little snatches.
Lean in close.
Cool. Arcadia?
I'm going to let you tell me if I can do this, Alex, but I think Arcadia would like to discreetly use his blessing.
Okay. What does that do? Describe that to me, the storyteller, so I can tell you.
I would love to. So basically, I would like to ease this man's passing by poisoning him.
I don't think you have to.
Okay.
He's gone.
Okay.
As Kolya leans in. Veronica, you open locker 217. I don't know what you were expecting to find in this locker. But it is a human body dressed as a morgue assistant, and it absolutely erupts out of the locker at you. And it is a person who is also like torn to bits. Their mouth is covered in blood. Their eyes are completely blank, and they attack you. I would like... What is your defense?
That's a great question.
It's either your wits or your dex, whichever is lower.
That's a 2 then, wits.
Okay. Okay. That is 2 successes on the attack roll. So this thing comes erupting out of the locker. It is all teeth and sharp nailed hands. It is biting. It is clawing. You weren't necessarily... I mean, you were ready for something, which is why I didn't roll all of the dice. I gave you your defense. But you are going to take 2 lethal damage as it starts snapping and biting at you. Like, it gets a good chunk out of your shoulder. It tears into you with its broken fingernails. And in that moment, Kolya, as your attention is distracted by the opening of the locker, you are also going to get a bite at you. And I'm going to say you are surprised. I think you are surprised. If that's acceptable to you.
Is it the doctor?
Will is not surprised.
It is not the doctor.
Okay, just check.
It's the guy who just died. He's a zombie now.
Yep.
That's absolutely fair. I was just double checking because I don't trust her either.
Yeah. Smart.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any armor?
Nope.
Okay. That is 1 point of lethal damage as it bites directly into your bicep. Just... Its teeth seem sharper than they should be. Or maybe you're just surprised, I don't know. But you look down, and this poor man who is bleeding out in front of you is now trying to gnaw your arm off. And at that point, I would like us to go into initiative order. So everyone who is in this room, please roll a d10 and add your initiative modifier.
I got a 6.
A 6
I
from
got
Kolya.
a 9.
All right.
I rolled a 6, but what is my initiative modifier?
Dex plus composure.
Yep.
Dex. Okay. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
All right. Veronica, you are the first to act. You have a dead body out of a locker attacking you. What would you like to do?
I would like to make it stop doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically, what I would like to do is, I'm imagining they're coming at me from the front, and I have knives in my hands, so I would like to slice the tendons under the arms to stop the arms from working.
Okay. That is a called shot, which makes your dice pool -2.
Okay. So in that case, that's 1, 2, 3 plus dex or strength. Or
strength. What? So fighting brawl.
Okay.
So strength plus brawl.
I don't have anything in brawl. Okay.
Unless,
cool.
Okay. What? No. If it's a knife, it's weaponry.
Right. Weaponry. Okay. Excuse me.
That's much better. Okay.
So how many dice do you have regularly?
That is 3 in weaponry. I have a bonus for torture implements that I am using, but I don't know if it counts because I'm technically not. I mean, it's kind of torture to remove the tendon.
We'll call it. Yeah, it's fine.
Great. And then strength is an additional 1.
Okay, so
then I remove 2 from that.
And you remove another 1 from its defense because it has a defense of 1.
Okay. So I'm only rolling 2 dice.
2 dice.
Okay. Question for you. Do you have, I think it's weapon finesse or fighting finesse? It allows you to use your dex instead of your strength.
That's a good question.
I don't think so.
Gonna add that when we level up.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, so 2 dice. 8s, 9s, and 10s succeed.
Okay. That's 1 success.
Okay.
So.
Oh, I'm sorry. You also get a bonus for your actual weapon, so you should
Right.
get you'll get another dice. Excuse me. That's my bad.
That's also a 10.
Oh.
So two successes plus it repeats.
Mm-hmm.
That's 3 successes.
All right.
The
Love
one
it.
before was also a 10, so that would have repeated also.
Yep.
That's a 7, so that's a fail. So 10. That's 3
Okay.
successes.
It's 3 successes. Very good. So you slash in. You realize as you do this, it starts bleeding this weird black substance.
Delightful.
And you're pretty sure you cut those tendons, but those arms are still coming after you. There's something more going on there. The zombies got a 10, so they will go next. Will, I'm going to bite you one more time, but this time you have defense. So what is your defense?
Also 2.
Okay. That is 2 successes, so 2 lethal damage to you.
Cool.
As more chomping on your arm. And we'll do the same to Veronica as this thing just keeps coming at you. Like they seem very focused on the biting and the attacking of the person. That is 1 more lethal damage to you, Farah. Or to Veronica. Sorry, then it's going to be Arcadie's turn.
I would like to restrain the zombie that is going after Veronica. I would like to just coil myself around it.
Fantastic. In that case, I believe that is Strength Brawl.
Yep.
If you have athletics, I'd give it to you, but something tells me no.
Nope. I've got Brawl, so we're
Okay.
good.
Good enough.
Three successes.
Okay. Let me do I think I do have to contest that. They're not very good at this, though. You are able to restrain. It is strong, but clumsy. So you get in there and you wrap yourself around it. It will attack you now when it has an opportunity. So, good job. Kolya, you're being bit.
Yeah, Kolya is being bit. And I think what is going to happen actually is Kolya is going to be a little bit different than he has been so far. So far, he's been pretty soft-spoken and reserved, but I think when this man, this person that he was like listening to the last words of or trying to suddenly bites him, he is going to rise up to his full, very impressive height. And he is gonna actually, I think, let go. He's gonna let loose a full-on roar. I'm gonna spend a point of glamour to activate one of my contracts. And this might be. You'll have to tell me because the catch is if I am fighting multiple opponents with my bare hands, not using weapons or tools of any sort. There are technically multiple opponents.
Yes, I will say that the catch is fulfilled.
Cool. And that means that I do not have to spend a glamour, right?
Correct.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, awesome. Cool. So I'm going to activate Might of the Terrible Brute. And so his already pretty considerable and impressive muscles ripple and get even more bulging. I would also ask if I could get the +1 suggested modifier for yelling, grunting, or boasting loudly about my great strength. by standing up and roaring.
Yeah, the roar is sufficient. Yes.
Cool. All right, awesome.
Do the roar.
This is reflexive, so we have to start with that. Okay. Series of things are happening. All right, cool. 3 successes, which means that now what I'm going to do is basically put like either hand on the side of this thing's head. And the first thing I'm going to do is wrench it off of me.
Yes.
But the next thing I'm going to do is basically whatever I can, whether that ends up being crushing its skull in my hands or snapping its neck or whatever it takes.
All right. So I assume
that'll be
this is a fighting brawl check with some bonuses from your contract?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And its defense is 1, so...
Cool. All right. Okay. Hell yeah. Okay. Five successes.
5 successes, and you are specifically crushing the head.
Yep, if I can.
That gives you 1 bonus damage success.
Okay. So 6 damage.
And that's all... I'm going to say that's all lethal because of what's about to happen and because of the way this... So you pull this man off of you. He's biting. He's trying to bite you. And you just... And his head buckles like a watermelon under your hands. You do get a bunch of black goop on your hands, but the body otherwise goes inert. Let me mark some damage.
Okay.
Fantastic. That's 1 down. Good job. I think we're going to move over to the incinerator before we have our next round of combat.
Fantastic. Also, 5 monsters.
5 monsters.
And the storyteller.
Correct.
You're not a monster if you kill a zombie.
I feel like that wasn't the first time you crushed someone's head like a watermelon, friendo.
So, Misha, the thing that you see on the ceiling is perched up there. Its head is rolled completely back, looking at you.
Cool.
It's painted red. It's a bald man with a beard. But his hands, where they're gripping the ceiling, it's less that they're gripping the ceiling, because he's got these bony protrusions that seem to have just erupted out of his hands, and they're just clamped in. His eyes are completely black, and his mouth is sort of lolling open, and you can see he's got his human teeth, but there's a row of teeth behind that, which is much sharper. And his jaw seems to be unhinged because it's much wider or open than it should be.
Had to make room for all those teeth.
Right. I would like you to make me a clarity roll.
Oh, okay. How many dice am I rolling there, friendo?
3.
Eek. Okay, hold on. It's coming to the light, dearie.
How many? Okay. Your world spins a bit when you see this, because this is not the first time you've seen something like this before.
Yeah.
And you are back in the workshops, in the lab. And he's there in his dirty lab coat that's always stained with... who can even say? and he asks you for a scalpel.
Hand it over.
His 2 long fingers take it and go to work on the body on the slab in front of you. This one isn't painted red, but the bony protrusions from the hands are there, the extra teeth. You also know that he's enhanced its jumping abilities. Extra tendons and muscles, grafted in just the right way. This is his greatest creation to date. The skitter sneak. And it is going to be an instrument of terror that Arcadia has not seen before. It will topple other Fey lords. It will assassinate their top changelings. It will sow chaos and destruction and death to anyone who would dare oppose the good doctor. And as you come back from this memory and your clarity drops to 6,
Yep.
you are frozen in place as it drops from the ceiling and attacks you. Yuna, you do see something drop from the ceiling, and we'll get to that in a moment. I just have to pick up all of the dice I have to roll. Don't mind me. 2, 4, 6, 8.
It's so rude.
Misha, do you have armor?
I would hope so. I'm summer.
2?
2, yeah.
2?
Yeah.
It's a 1. That's a 2. That's a 3. Only 3 points of lethal damage. As it drops, gets behind you, and Yuna, you see through Misha's shoulder these bony, knife-looking appendages erupt out. And then it pulls them back. And now we will go into initiative in this part of the...
Fantastic. Does that pull me from my...
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yes, it does.
Fight mode, baby.
Misha and Yuna and the skitter sneak.
I gotta stop doing that. Okay, good.
What do we roll for initiative
You're gonna
again?
roll a D10. Roll a D10, and then you're gonna add your dexterity.
Just one.
Yep. 1d10, add your dexterity plus your composure. If you have fast reflexes, you add that to that as well.
Correct.
So I have Spetsnaz,
Mm-hmm.
which allows me to roll with add my composure. Add my weaponry instead of my composure.
Ooh, very nice.
Yeah.
What'd y'all get?
8. So,
I got a 16.
That's really fast.
Yeah.
The skitter sneak is faster.
You motherfucker. I mean, that's fine.
You do have your defense against this particular attack.
Okay.
What is your defense?
My defense is 3.
3. All right, that's pretty good. 5, 6, 7. Ooh, that's a 1. That's 2. That's 3. That's a 4. 4 lethal damage minus your armor.
Okay, cool.
And then it bolts. Like, it just slashes, and then it's so fast. It's just out past Yuna, like you feel it sort of brush past you. And then it is through the murder flaps. And it is Misha's turn.
Okay.
What's your speed?
My speed is 12.
Okay, so you can't catch it.
Okay.
Unless you double. Maybe.
Can I at least see it?
At the moment, no. It has left the room.
If I move,
Yep.
like past the burner flaps, can I see it?
You see the doors to the examination room, the swinging doors, bust open and like swing shut. So presumably that's just where it went.
Okay. I'm going to move.
Okay. So I think you can get to the door and a little inside of the door.
Okay. Is that with both movements or is that with...
That's with both movements.
Okay. Okay. Then yeah, I guess that's what I'm doing.
You get in... Oh, yep.
Actually, hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not, actually. Because that'll just leave me wide the hell open. There weren't any other exits to that examination room, correct? Okay.
Not that you saw.
All right. Well, then, yeah, I'm going to go in.
Okay. You go in there, and one of the cold storage doors is open.
Cool. Thanks, I hate it.
That's the only difference that you can see. Yuna.
I only have a speed of 9.
So yeah, if you were to double move and hoof it, you could like get into the lobby, basically, and see Misha through the door that he's gone in there. But otherwise, you're just hoofing it, I guess. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
That's fine. I'm enjoying. I don't usually get to participate in watching as much, so.
Could you make me a perception? Wits plus resolve, please.
Thank you. Wits plus.
Just
sorry.
Wits composure.
Yeah, wits plus composure, excuse me. I always mix those two up.
It's all good. Just Yuna?
Yeah, just Yuna.
Even better. Let me reroll this bad boy.
Reroll it. 2. Okay. As you're standing there in the lobby, looking at the doors to the examination room and Misha's back, there's a very faint moment where you smell cotton candy. And it's like a whiff of it comes from behind you. And you turn just in time to see the skitter sneak crawl out of the open elevator shaft and launch itself at you. What is your defense?
2.
2.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you are going to take 4 lethal damage as it just with these crazy bone knife hands. And Misha, you do hear that.
Cool.
It's your turn.
Yep. Back out. Let's go. Hiya.
What are we doing?
I got a knife in hand.
Excellent.
I'm going to introduce him to my knife.
Love it. I'm sure he's very excited to be introduced.
As am I. You know what I mean? As am I. I also am going to use Stone 1.
Excellent. Okay.
There's no physical change for Misha. It's just his chemistry sort of activates. The good doctor is very good at keeping all of the wonders of the body contained. So we're going to see how well this does.
And it has a defense of 4.
And defensive 4, fantastic. All right, so let's roll stone 1 first.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah. All right, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Can I get a 5th? Still can't see it. Hell yeah, that was a 9. Let's go.
Fantastic.
All right. Okay. Stone 1. What is the... I got to see what the exceptional is on that. Oh yeah, we also get 8 again, baby.
Ooh, nice.
Okay, so you said he has a defense of 4. Alrighty, so that's 9, 13, 14. So rolling 10. 8, 10. And I really don't like this thing. It hit me a bunch, so we're gonna spend a willpower.
Absolutely, we love to see it.
Yes, we do. Okay, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. 6.
6. Very good. That's lethal damage.
Yeah. Plus the knife is 2 lethal.
Oh, very good. Yes. Okay.
Oh, I had 80. No, you know what? No, I had 8 again. I had 8 again. I should roll.
Yes, you did. Ten. 9. Okay. So, Yuna, you get stabbed, almost partially eviscerated by the bone claws. Misha comes out of nowhere, and the good doctor provided you with a lot of insight, Misha.
Mm-hmm.
You know that these creatures have weaknesses, and you hit exactly the point of, because it takes weird and magic to also hold this thing together, and there's a nexus of that, and you know where that is, and you stab that nexus, and the skitter sneak goes rigid and collapses to the floor. And it's at that moment you hear this kind of calliope whirligig noise, like and then it explodes. I would like you both to make me just straight dexterity checks. So double your dex and roll that many dice.
Okay. Oh dear.
This is fun.
Is it?
It's not is the thing.
Okay.
3.
3. Very good.
Hold on. Hold on.
Holding.
Hold on.
Got it. Yeah, we got it. Hey.
Nice.
5.
So Yuna, there's your reflexes are incredibly fast, and you know that this calliope noise is bad news. I don't know how you know it, but you like fall back through the swinging doors that go into the examination room. Misha, you're a little bit closer. So you are going to take 1 aggravated damage.
Ow.
From the boom.
Ouchies.
And as it knocks you back, it's not just the physical world that gets affected by this explosion. It opens something else. For a moment, you get a glimpse of a hedge.
No.
Singed and burned and sickly and bleeding. And for just a moment, it looks like a hand reaches out through that hedge toward the opening that this creature has ripped in reality. And just as the hand is about to come through, it seals itself back up. And that, I think, is where we can take a quick break.
Yeah.
Sure. Why not?
Hey,
Uh-huh.
hey, Alex.
Hey.
Hey, this is episode 2, bud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just 2. Just 2.
This is
Having
second.
your portrait did one of the requirements for doing the healing. Like, I will heal you, but I must paint you.
I feel like that's an entirely
I only
reasonable
feel
request.
comfortable around those that I watch.
Indeed.
Ooh.
Okay, those were words, and you
Dude, I
chose
love
to
those
say
words
them.
that you just used there.
Oh.
Normal sentences.
I
So
was just
good.
about to say, pay me like one of your Russian girls, and then you said that, and now I don't want it.
Don't want to say that. Don't want to say that now.
I already
Nope.
have. I already have.
I know.
We
and
know.
Yeah.
We all know.
Yep, we are aware.
All right, well, shall we get back into it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I would love to.
Yes.
We're gonna quick head back to the locker room where, for the ease of storytelling, I think that other zombie is going to get dispatched in a pretty quick manner because of it's wrapped up by Arcadia, and we've got knives and Kolias on the situation. So,
Alex,
I
will you
would like
grant
to remove
me?
its head.
I was going to say, will you grant me permission for one thing?
sure, of course.
And so, after Arcadia has wrapped himself around the zombie, he
Mhm.
looks up at Veronica and says, "Pawn to e6."
And as she beheads the creature, she says, pawn to e3.
And then the pawn falls to the ground.
Mm.
A silence descends on the basement of the morgue. There are still 2 employees unaccounted for, or 2 morgue assistants unaccounted for, including the person who has the other key that is required to get out of this mess. What would you like to do, locker room team?
Veronica would like to go over to our dear coward. Colia, that was impressive. Well done.
I think he is staring at his hands, which you said have this sort of black substance on them. It's not blood.
It's not blood.
But I think he's staring down at his hands like it is. Like he has seen this on his hands before. There's like a haunted look in his eyes, which are still just like a little bit wild.
I think the thing that brings you out of it is the smell, which is not the smell of blood, but it is this like sugary, cloying, like cotton candy that's been left in a dumpster for a hot weekend.
When he comes out of it, he will reach into his pocket and pull out an oil stained rag, like a mechanic's rag, and start cleaning the stuff off of his hands, just sort of wiping it off like motor grease, and he'll discard the rag when he is done with it.
As you discard it,
Yeah, sorry.
it hits the floor, and a little bit of that goop just moves off of the handkerchief. Starts it's very slowly making its way back to you, like it's like mercury, like it's sort of pooling.
Sure.
And anyway, that's whatever you were up to. I'm sure that's nothing.
Can I, if I notice that, I think Kolya will sort of like pause and stare down at it as it is moving and like pull out a lighter
Mm.
and just sort of spark it up and then drop it onto the black substance.
You would expect, I don't know, it to ignite. Instead, it explodes. Like the lighter hits it, and this little pool of liquid just goes boom. It didn't like that. But there's not enough of it anymore to do anything.
And then I think Kolya is going to, now that his hands are clean, he sort of turns around and he looks questioningly at the two of you. And it is very clear that he did not hear a word that you said to him, Veronica, and says, "So, what's now?"
We go check on the others. Come. And she walks ahead.
Alex, could
Hi.
I do a chemistry roll to see if I
Certainly.
could figure out what is going on here with this substance?
Absolutely. So intelligence and your science chemistry.
Yeah, Justin,
have
fucking
three
grip it
successes.
and rip it, baby. Slop that down, dude. Shit, yeah, dude. Crack one for the big boy.
Thank you for the donation.
Thank you, Squeegee Experience. I know who
thank
you
you
are.
so
I'm not going to
much.
out who you are, but I appreciate you.
That would refresh a player's clarity. I think we're good.
Nope. Both Yuna and Misha are at 6 clarity.
Oh,
Shame.
Squeegee Experience, get in the chat who you want to... Whose clarity you want to refresh.
make Raph play a normal character.
Never.
Impossible.
Absolutely no. I disallow
No, it's
it.
fine. I like being closer to home.
While we're talking about clarity, Arcadia, because of that roll, I'm in fact going to have you make me a clarity roll.
Cool.
3 dice.
Cool. Two successes.
Okay. There is a memory that unlocks in your brain as you look at this. The good doctor was an extraordinary chemist. Just their knowledge of alchemical arts, unsurpassed. And you know that one of the first replicable on a grand scale of their compounds was something they simply called compound death. And compound death did the opposite of that. It created life. This kind of life. The reanimating kind. That's what this is. How it got here? To your knowledge, the good doctor was the only person, or the only entity that knew all of the components that were required. That's a hard phrase to say. And the things presumably that were needed to create it would have been found in Arcadia. Q.
Did the doctor ever leave anything in the bodies, like a plate on a liver or anything, like denoting that it's like property of the good doctor?
I think the only thing that would come close is the good doctor's compounds were as much a signature as anything else.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Would I remember the compounds?
Yes, you would remember, like...
Okay, especially after seeing the sneak, I'm like, oh no.
Yep. Now that you've seen the skitter sneak and you realize that black compound that smells like sugar, you know what that is.
Got it. So I'm going to get another vial.
Okay.
Take a very small sample. Can't do a whole lot with a small sample. Yuna, do you have a lighter?
Yes.
I would like to see it, please.
She just says no, but I could shoot it or keep it.
The compound should be set on fire.
That's boring though.
This mission is not for your entertainment.
What do you know about it?
What do I know? I know that if left unchecked, it will create more. It will spread.
Little slug man?
Not slug. Did that seem like a slug to you? Just gonna kick one of the
sluggish qualities.
Sluggish qualities. Are you sure you know what a slug is?
To be honest, I don't think I've ever seen one, but I'm sure they're quite fascinating.
I'm sure I can find you a book that has a slug in it. That was not a slug.
I think on that note, our other three will arrive.
Arcadie's getting tossed a vial of the compound.
He takes it and he puts it in the pocket that contains another vial that he had taken before leaving the room.
Yeah, and he's gonna point at the remains of what was the skitter sneak. Skitter sneak. It was here.
Not a slug.
You would also know.
Not a slug.
I will look at Dr. Darova and say, would it offend your sensibilities if we burn them all?
Absolutely not.
I do not think it should matter if it did. It needs to happen.
No, but it is important to keep some semblance of... Anyway. Kolia, could you please toss them in the incinerator?
Misha will assist. It's just body over shoulder.
Yeah.
Arcadia looks a bit disappointed if the skitter sneak is being taken in that direction.
It's absolutely being taken in that direction.
He looks a bit disappointed.
Huh?
Dr. Darova, before you leave...
Should we...
Go ahead.
Sorry. Okay. The delay is back. Should we perhaps... It seems that there is some sort of letter being left on this body. First, something of mine, now something of yours. Is there not something for the Winter Court as well?
I'll take a closer look. I go over and start. Well, it blew up, so I guess I'm looking at the parts.
Yeah, there are chunks of it.
Mm-hmm.
And Arcadia, this is probably why you're ultimately not disappointed, or you're disappointed in a different way, because the skitter sneak bits just crumble to ash after a moment of examination from Veronica.
That's not put together the way it should have been.
They weren't generally made to explode.
Interesting.
Kolya, explosion catches your interest. Because you do know certain easily expendable troops that your master used to make that did have a bit of a explosive ending. Sold to the highest bidder and just unleashed en masse.
Kolya will take a step back from the furnace after disposing of the last of it and sort of dust his hands off. Say, I remember hearing stories of shock troops used in this way.
Who's?
Whoever could pay.
But who made them?
You don't have to say. I understand.
Sharp look in your direction.
Confused look in your direction.
There's just a blank stare from Mask to the both of you. Did the explosion come with music? Calliope, perhaps?
Oh yes, he had a sense of humor.
Who's?
Yes, of course it did.
We are having people relive their past traumas then.
I care little for past traumas and wish only to solve this puzzle that has been put in front of us. If you know who made these music boxes, I would like to know.
I don't see the relevance.
One appeared in a morgue in a corpse. How is that not relevant?
If it appears because it is something that I remember, what does it matter who made it?
Because perhaps either they made it again or someone is copying them. It is a lead.
And we are hardly in a position to do any investigating.
Is not that
why
our
we're
job?
here?
Because right now, we are trapped inside of a morgue, trying to survive.
So then you will tell us after. When we are no longer trapped.
If it holds relevancy.
Hmm.
I will, of course, do everything I can to assist the courts.
Who decides the relevancy?
Hmm.
I suppose we could stand here debating that.
Ooh.
We will finish this, and then we will share the information that is relevant. Hmm? The other two. There are two more, yes?
Yes.
Well, I suppose we must find them to make sure they are not also these puppets. Do I hear
And
any
one of them
sounds?
holds the key to
Right.
our exit.
Also that. Perhaps
And of
the...
course, deep and abiding respect for human life.
No.
Uh,
Yeah. Misha's backing up. Like we're gonna go hunt. We're gonna go hunting. Yep.
You said before that one of the doors in the morgue proper was open. I'd like to check the freezers to see if they hid in any of those.
So there's one door, in the cold storage slabs, the rows. If you're starting with the closed doors, they are not in there. Or there are no bodies in there.
Open one first, since it's open already.
So you look inside and you're expecting, a slab that you can roll out the body on it. Instead, you look in and you can see a stained glass window at the back. It's unclear what's being depicted because it's somewhat distorted, but the colors are bright and the craftwork is good. But there at the back, where the back wall should be, there's a church window.
I look back at the doctor. What is this?
She looks in. I've never seen this before.
Can I vibe check that? See if she's lying?
Certainly. What would we call that?
Wits empathy?
Yeah, wits empathy.
Fantastic. I did not take empathy. RIP.
This party?
Could I also vibe check that, actually?
Yeah.
Certainly. Yeah.
Nice. I still got one success.
Success?
On what?
Success? Okay.
Yeah, no.
Misha,
So-
Arcadia, you know what people... Veronica, you're distracted by the weirdness, so you miss this. You know what people, when they're lying... Arcadia, you certainly have a sense of when people lie from fear or when they lie to cover these things up. Misha, you're trained in, even if you don't have the empathy, I'm going to say you have an understanding of changeling humanity, changelingness. This woman is terrified of this specifically. She is not lying. This is weird, and it's wigging her out. She's just like,
this is too much for you.
Yes, what is it that scares you so much about this?
that was not here. Has never been here.
Those drawers are only I mean, they're person sized. Like,
Mhm.
is it the window is person sized on the far end as well, or is it like it opens up to a door into like a big room situation? Like,
No, so like you're looking at the body storage and just
Right.
the back wall,
okay,
which
cool.
you know.
Yeah, and it's
What?
still intact though.
Yep.
Any of the other ones have weird shit?
Nope.
Cool. I'm gonna climb inside.
All right.
Take a closer look.
As you get close to it, you crawl in there. It's very cramped. Are you just observing? Are you interacting?
Oh, I'll absolutely interact.
You put your hand to it, and it's not glass, but it has a sort of give to it. But your fingers can go through it. And when they do, you smell candles, incense, bodies, people, not like living, but like the smell of a group of people.
Uh-huh.
And you start to hear chanting.
Huh. I will call back. One of you put the hand on my ankle. Make sure I do not get pulled through. And I poke my head out.
So
I
you,
imagine Kolya will do that.
with strong hands on your ankles, making sure that you are not pulled through, you poke your head through the stained glass window, and you look out into the vaulted nave of a church. Everything is sort of this smoky black and white. You don't see, there's no colors to it. It's just a grayscale. But you can see people worshiping. You can smell the incense. You can smell the candles. You can hear the mass being chanted. And these people are dressed, well, it'd be archaic to you, but they look like medieval peasants.
Is there any clear symbolism of what or who they are worshipping?
The Christian God.
Oh.
But what you do notice as you're taking all of this in is that there is another stained glass window opposite you that is different from the others. The others are sort of foggy and cloudy, and you can't really distinctly make out what the decorations on them are, but the one that's directly across from you is crystal clear. And you can see through it to an elevator shaft.
Huh. Fascinating. I pull myself back out and scooch to standing, straightening my uniform to the elevator. And I walk in the direction of the elevator.
Following.
Same.
Yeah. So you get to the elevator. The doors are still doing that thing, but if you want to, you can, like, this is the basement. It's just like the elevator mechanism down there.
Mm-hmm.
So you can get down there. And in fact, if you do that, there is another stained glass window there.
It's beautiful, is it not?
I'm gonna check it out this time.
So Misha, you stick your head through.
Mm-hmm.
You see exactly as described.
I'm gonna step in.
Okay. You step in, and you are well in the air above the nave of this. The people are 30 feet below you. And you step in, and your foot just lands on something. No idea what's supporting you.
Okay. Going to keep going.
So you can walk all the way across this thing to the other stained glass window.
Okay.
Which, if you poke your head through,
is the
slab.
Cool beans. So I'm going to go back around to stand behind the rest of the group.
Okay.
Quite a trick, is it not?
Yeah, just like he appears. I see how this skitter sneak got behind us now.
Yes.
I would like
Why?
all of you, now that you know this is here, and sort of hear about the physics of this or whatever, to make me an intelligence science check.
Oh.
Rolling -1 die.
It's chance die.
Thanks, bro.
It's
Yeah.
chance die.
Oh, fuck yes.
Do you get to reroll 10s on a chance die?
Yes. That's the only way you get successes.
I got a 10.
That's still a success.
So
Yeah,
that's-
no, it's one success.
5 successes for Veronica.
Look at us
3.
two dum-dums. You're smart.
Intelligence 4, baby.
Even Kolya, you have in fact heard of this. I don't know how Misha missed it. I guess you're more focused on other things. There is a method of travel that the Soviet Academy of Sciences has created. They have not perfected, but there is basically a neighboring, we'll call it a dimension, that allows for travel between different points in our world. They call it the labyrinth because sometimes people go in and they don't come out. It's easy to get lost there because Arcadia and Veronica and maybe even Yuna, you've definitely read the reports that talk about it's less about moving in space. You move through space and time. And so it can be easy to get lost as you're maneuvering in this place, but it does allow, if you know what you're doing, to get from point A to point B unseen or more quickly than usual. None of you have ever been in the labyrinth before, but you know of it. And now, Misha, you know of it because you've been there, and I assume they inform you.
So
Do we know who was developing it?
One of you does.
I look at Arcadia.
Yes.
I have questions, and I wonder if you have the answers.
Well, to our dear Kolya's point earlier, perhaps we should escape from this murder basement. But then, yes, I will give what answers I can and what answers I have.
Good. What else would they hide down here? I say to the doctor.
Well, before he died, Gennady told us that they went through the locker.
Let's check the locker.
It was probably because the the zombie attacked you that you didn't notice it, but there is a doorway in the locker. Like one of those old iron doors that's got like slitted things. It's heavy. It looks forbidding. But there is a door there.
Oh, it feels like home. And is it locked or anything, or can I just pull it open?
You can just pull it open.
I'm gonna step back this time. Allow one of the stronger members of the party to open the door this time.
What's the light situation look like on the other side?
Bright.
Gross.
I'm sorry.
It's fine. That's fine. I'll go in.
You don't have
So
to
you-
go in. You just open the door for me.
Yeah, that's fine.
So we open the door
Mm-hmm.
into what looks like a dungeon. Like a literal oubliette type situation in an old castle of some kind.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as you step through that door,
Mm-hmm.
you hear the sound of battle all around you. But it's like swords and shields and the sound of armored individuals fighting far above you. Like you're down in the depths, but even here you hear it.
Hey, Alex.
Yes.
Does it sound familiar?
It's a very good question. No.
Cool.
Okay. I'm gonna look for the other end of this.
There is another door.
Yeah.
You know, everything again, it's like this weird smoky, foggy sort of situation, but there is one very clearly outlined door.
Okay.
There is
What's up?
there is blood in front of that door.
Like pooled or like it was dragged?
Dragged.
Noted. Okay.
All right. So you open that door, and you're standing on a highway.
Oh.
There are cars zooming by you. It's no make and model that you would recognize. They're going fast.
Mm.
And like you're looking around, like one of them just goes poof, right through you.
Oh. Fascinating. I don't think that's good. Is there another sort of like on the opposite side? Like another door?
So you're when you come through, you can see that you stepped out of the doorway of what looks like a gas station.
Mm-hmm.
And there is something else on the other side of the highway.
Okay.
However, in the middle of the highway, there is a body.
Of course there is.
Wearing medical attire.
Okay.
It looks very dead.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go over to that. Yeah, I'm not gonna play around.
Mm-hmm.
Knife, neck, gone.
Good.
I'm not.
Black ichor goop spills out of the neck.
Okay.
This person is wearing a name tag that says Luda.
Luda's not who we're looking for, right?
Luda is who you're looking for.
Oh, it is? Okay, well, I'm gonna try and I'm gonna look for the key.
There are keys in their pocket.
Okay. Cool.
As you turn back, the door to the gas station, which you had come through, is not there.
Of course not. Cool. Cool. No doubt.
And as you are standing there sort of looking and wondering what the fuck that is, there is a car crash. One car hits another, and they're sort of shadowy, like smoke trailing off of them. They start rolling.
Mm-hmm.
And what would you like to do?
It's coming towards me.
Yes, like they are flipping end over end toward you.
Okay. I guess go towards the other door.
Okay.
Yeah, because if that one behind me is gone, then I need to get to that one and hope that it's still there.
So you book it.
Mm-hmm.
You make it to the door. You open it.
Mm-hmm.
And you come out in the incinerator room.
Mm.
Like you literally step out of the incinerator.
Oh, I hate that.
That's where we put the... Okay.
You did burn the bodies.
We burned them first. Yeah.
Okay, all right, just checking.
Okay. And then I will go and rejoin our crew.
Right. We have key. I think you can fairly assume that the other person is in the labyrinth somewhere. Whether or not they're getting out, who knows?
Not really our directive.
Arcadia does look at Misha when he sees the keys in his hand and says, "Another fatality. Shame."
Yes.
And then looks at Dr. Darova and says, "Suppose that means our agreement is forfeit."
You did the best you could. And I appreciate it.
I'm sorry for your losses.
That's kind. If I can dig anything up, I'll let you know. Now let's get out of this murder basement.
Up and away.
Yep.
So you guys head back up the stairs. You do the double key. The lockdown ends. And you are greeted by at least 2 squads of the local Soviet army who got the alert that the morgue was locked down and have arrived to figure out what the hell is going on. And I think as guns are leveled and you walk out, that is going to be where we end this session.
Good, yeah, super great. Everything. So
A
good.
normal time had by all.
A normal time was had by all. You guys survived.
Wonderful time.
You got
all 5 of us monsters. Mm-hmm.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm normal.
No.
Yeah, that is normal.
Rap false.
You see.
Like, let's be honest though, Veronica has been mostly consistent this entire time. Zero weird, just evil.
I'm sorry,
Like,
says the person climbing, like walking on the ceiling. I'm sorry.
I was
Yeah,
not
we're
the
not
only
talking
person
about
walking on the ceiling today.
consistency.
Well, the other one was also a monster. So
Oh, so good. So fun. So fun and good.
Cool.
we're
Say
doing
goodnight and tell everybody who we are, I guess.
Yeah, let's do that, shall we? Do you want to go first, Alex?
Sure. Why not? Hey everybody, I'm Alex. I'm Mightiest Finn on Twitter. I'm Mighty Finn on Blue Sky. I write games in backwards tabletop role-playing universe. We have mugs now, which is pretty fun. Got a Kickstarter for 2 projects, Backwoods and Back Channels. We have a Backwoods special going to be premiering on Crossroads Games August 9th, which is going to be... I know it was fun. I was there. What else? We've got Percentile Vice is also going to be doing a Back Channels preview. Catch them. I want to say that's coming up in the next few days. That'll be on my Twitter or my Blue Sky. I'll let you know. We also got Mayday Roleplay doing a Back Channels preview, which is super exciting as well. So lots of if you want to know what that system looks like, you can check us out. You can also check out Founders Day here on Live from the Apocalypse. That was the first ever Backwoods preview, and we had a lot of fun. A fun time was had. Otherwise, I have projects in the works that are not announced, so I'm not going to announce them, but follow me on the socials, and I will tell you as they are announced, because, and I mean this wholeheartedly, there's some really fucking cool shit coming up, and I'm very excited about it. And that's me.
Hell yeah. There we go.
Hello, I've been Farah Farrakaya on all of the socials, just all of them, because I have no creativity. That's a lie. You can catch me also a lot at Crossroads Games. You can also catch me here tomorrow night for some more super fine, totally not terrible excellence. And I ran my first game on stream, even though I'm a forever GM in my life. I am a forever player until now on streams. So check out Lacuna. I am a big fan of the system, and I've begun it on Crossroads. So go take a look. And we have a lot of really cool stuff coming in the next few months over at Crossroads as well, Backwater included. So check us out.
Hey, I am JD. Tonight I have been Arcadia Volkov. I will be back 2 more times this week to run 2 horror games. I will be torturing Alex and Farah, among others, tomorrow night for Shadows Between the Stacks, Harvest Echoes, and then I will be back with Redacted, where I will get to torture Raph and Q, among others, on Thursday. So if you want to see more horrifying times, definitely return for those games. In general, I am here almost every night that there is a stream. You can basically find me here most of the time. And follow me on socials at JD Not Jason Dean for all of the other places I will be.
Hi, I'm Q. You can find me at Midnight Inc. It's Midnight_Inc. on most places. It's INQ. Q is my name. I'm sure you get it. No underscore on Blue Sky, of which I am there. Huzzah. Tonight I was playing Misha Dragunov, who is definitely not a monster. He's just a good little soldier. Don't even worry about it. I will be back here on Thursday, as mentioned, for Redacted. I'm very excited. Nothing weird is happening there. Just playing a normal guy. I've got more projects in the future happening, so just like keep an eye out. Yeah, that's it for me right now.
Your time to talk, Raph.
Someone tell me when.
Yeah,
Now.
Okay. Hi, I'm Raph. Okay, sorry guys. Okay. Balancing act right now. Hello, I'm Raph. I played Yuna 6 seconds behind in observation. And what else? Oh, this Thursday I get to be tortured by JD, playing Sophie McAllister, and we're headed towards a bar, I think, if I recall correctly. So it's going to be a Thursday. Come on down, join us. It'll be fun. And then next Tuesday, we're playing Class Reunion, which is Will's homebrew D&D 5e game. Very fun. Also, JD's in that. So yeah, come catch us. It'll be a good non-traumatizing time. Also more stuff, but you know.
Maybe we'll do a beach episode. Who knows? Hello.
Nah.
Hi, my name is Will. I'm one of the storytellers and the organizers here at Live from the Apocalypse, which means I do a lot of stuff around here. But for the most part, right now, things are kind of quiet. I won't be back until Tuesday for Class Reunion, which is a 5e homebrew game about a group of high school students from Ohio who have been trapped in a fantasy world for 10 years. And then after that, that's kind of it, actually, for a little while. We will eventually soon, actually, in just August, there will be a couple new things that I'll talk about, I guess, that I haven't talked about yet. First off, Crypto Community College, our Monster of the Week podcast, which was the first thing we ever tried to record. The first season is out there. It is kind of rough because we didn't know what we were doing, but we're about to start recording the second season, and we're going to be streaming that while we record it on alternating Wednesday nights. So that's going to be starting up late August, I think. Check that out if you want. I play a Scottish guy in that. It's fun. It's a good time. Our other podcast, Academy H, which is a Masks Actual Play podcast, we just recorded a bunch of new episodes. I'm in the process of editing them. There are a bunch of episodes out there already. If you haven't listened to it, you should go do that. And there will be a new one up midweek. It's just being kind of annoying with audio issues. But it will be up. It will be done soon. So yeah, Crypto Community College coming up. Listen to Academy Age, class reunion, and then there is a game that we're going to be doing for Wildcard Wednesday in August as well, starting up in August, that you might see some familiar faces in. We're going to be playing a spin-off game of Nephilim, which is one of the first games that was ever streamed on this channel. It was the first game that I ever ran on this channel. It is like a gritty, near-future sci-fi game, and I'm very excited for it. It's called The River. And yeah, you should check it out. It's going to be a lot of fun. But I think that's going to do it for us here tonight. So I'm going to get normal sized. And then we're going to hop over to try to raid our friends at Neon Lights Roleplay. Sometimes they have raids turned off. So if that doesn't work, we'll probably raid Lost Caravan. But we'll try to get Neon Lights Roleplay if we can. But I think on that note, going to do it for us here tonight. So say good night, everybody.
Good night,
Good night,
everybody.
everybody.
Good night.